Alright, welcome back to another episode of Game Crafters, where today we are going to continue yet another strip. But, on the plus side, next week is April, despite the fact that I still got a lot that I have to get done with. But, we will be able to start actually fully working on this an hour every day. Also, the cat's in heat again. For the 86th time. It's the 7th. Technically, but I wanted to do that reference for some reason. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. I did not want to do that yet. We are going to start working on this off camera now. Officially, fully, effectively, we're going to do that. Once I've gotten, because there's only one more series that I have to post tonight. And also we got lucky enough to where we don't have to worry about a full work week. Because apparently we overproduced. I wonder how that happened. Oh yeah, it's probably from all the goddamn freaking Saturdays that these guys were trying... Ooh, that's my button. That these guys were trying to freaking put up multiple times throughout the course of a few months. And then some. That probably didn't help. So, yeah, that's a thing. Which I guess is good for us, because that means now we get to create more. And also, actually, most likely get done with what I need to get done with, because we are we're still kind of behind. I'm currently working on the next episode of Laughter Academy. I know, this early into the goddamn week, but don't worry, I will get it done with. And then I'll post it, but then I'll have to do a quick drawing. I will try to do that one drawing I want to do. But then we're going to have to reduce... Well, it depends, because if we can't finish it, I'll just do what I did with Criteria, post it on April instead. And then after that, after we've done that, we're going to go on ahead and... we're going to just get the rest of the stuff done. Because going into April, there's only 3 series that I have to worry about. Right now, Nova Guardians is on hiatus, 2-month hiatus, so that should give us a little bit more time to work on what we need to work on. And then there is just one more episode of Lustful Horrors. Shush! I'll grab this box because you don't like this box. Is it because I kill insects with it, cat? You've seen me myrtleize insects, is that it? I don't know. Either way, she semi-stops, so I'm using what I can to get her to stop until we can finally get her spayed. Ugh. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, right, of course, the series that I have to work on. Going into April. The next episode, of Elementals Reborn consists of at least one new character, followed by Domodora, the group, and then probably a couple of bandits. Well, I wouldn't say, there's going to be more bandits there, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm only going to draw the ones that matter. Well, potentially. I don't know if that one bandit is even going to be in this episode yet. We won't have to worry about that until a little bit later. Although I would think it would make the most sense that he would be there. For one major reason, of course. But it doesn't matter that much just yet. And it won't be until April, so I'll have to worry about that when middle of April comes, because right now it's the 27th. As you can tell, I'm doing this right here, this time, and this is getting posted later at 12. You want insight as to our time frame here. Yeah, it is what it is. Alright, we gotta get this done with. I might stay up a little extra late. Well, most likely I'm going to stay up a little extra later tonight to see if I can get some more of Oh, wait, you are flat. I thought there was... Okay, never mind. I thought I had to, like, raise you. I mean, I feel like I should still raise this anyways, instead of just leaving it as a regular old flat landscape and whatnot. Anyways. We, are nearing the end of the month, with only 3 things left to post, and we have a 4-day weekend. So let's hope, beyond hope, that I'll be able to do that. And then, for most likely, what is going to be the case here, that 4-hour-long episode of Terraria, Terraria Nukem Edition. Also, that's the wrong fucking side. What am I doing? Wait a minute, you're an 11? I thought you were a 12. Well, you know what? You're gonna be a fucking 2 then. You didn't look like you were supposed to be an 11. What are you doing, cat? Are you looking yourself to clean yourself, or are you looking yourself to pleasure yourself? Because these are 2 different things, and I actually would probably prefer you do the... Which one was the latter again? I think it was the pleasure. I would prefer you do that so you could get out of your fucking heat cycle quicker. That's right, I'm talking to you, bitch. God damn, where the fuck is the square? There's a square right there. That's right, I called you a square. What are you gonna do about it? Jump up on this ever-declining chair because it's broken? Everything's just broken. So many things are just broken, and it's very tedious and frustrating. Okay, I have no clue what this side's going to be, but I know for a fact, not they really do anything too much big here, I know for a fact that there is a gate here. So I'm going to go ahead, copy said gate, and I will actually give it the names it needs to be. I think this is the red gate, right? Yeah, that's the red gate. That over there is the blue leather. So, well, I guess I could probably just call it Blue Gate and Red Lever instead of Gate Red. The names being changed don't matter that much, so long as it's what it needs to be. I'll keep this at 25 and see where this is at, just because. What are you doing? Do I have to put that trash can inside the trash can and stop you from messing with the trash can? Bitch. My god, why is this cat so annoying? I've given you a whole bunch of attention, and yet it's still not enough. You're still not satisfied. Well, I'm annoyed. So stop it. Don't go back there. I'm going to take this freaking box over here. You don't like that box? That's right. Word and try to walk away from the box. I won't do to you what I do to the insects, but I will bonk you. You know, like a simple bonk, like, which is not really that, well, my body is a little bit more, how you say, masochistic, so pain is completely different to me, but still, it's a very simplistic bonk. Better than having to spray you with water and have to deal with you making the place wet. Because you won't listen? What you looking at? Don't you sniff the box now? Where the hell are we? I feel as though this is probably not going to go out that far. I feel like you are probably going to be about like right here. Anywho's and whence. Yeah, there is a lot that must get done with. So I'm happy that I have at least a Wednesday off. I don't know how the hell they overproduced. I feel like somebody was in charge of looking at whatever the hell happened there. But then again, we're just taking a very specific person's word for it, so who the hell knows if it's true or not. Well, that's what I mostly am doing. But they particularly work in that field, so I don't know why they would just make it up. It got to a point where they had to, like, ask somebody to take, like, Tuesday through Friday off next week. Followed by, the next week after that. I have no clue what the hell's going on in that department. When I say off, I mean no point, no pay, and that's basically just, you don't get a point, which is what happens if you, like, you know, go in, or not go in for, like, a day. But you don't get paid either, which makes sense. But, yeah, all things considered. Me, at the moment, either we or me, I don't know what the hell their plan is, but the plan here is to try to move out of here before the idiots who are buying a house are like, alright, demolition time. Or it's a sister house, so they're demolishing, like, the side that's the other side, and then just going on ahead and, I don't know what the hell, combine house. This place fucking sucks, but then again, the bathroom over there looked better than the bathroom over here, because Orange Jesus or some other freaking hand in life really just does not like us having anything good. It really just feels like something's always constantly trying to get in the way of me trying to do anything. And it's very upsetting. I wish it would stop. I wish we could have at least some kind of normal luck, instead of this shite luck that we are constantly being inundated with. I wish I just didn't have to deal with nonsense. Like the bridge constantly being worked on forced me to go a completely different way. Depending on where the hell I move to, won't matter. Or will matter greatly. Who could say? Because I honestly can't say anymore. I mean, yeah, it depends. If I'm moving in a place where my direction is no longer near that bridge, then perfect. But, you know, I still wish that this wasn't the case. I still wish that I didn't have to worry about it. At the very least, whoops, that's too big. At the very least, it's happening during a month where there's not too much going on. Not saying that it's not a whole lot. There's still a decent amount going on. It's just, there's not a whole lot that there could be going on. So we're not completely, our schedule's not completely screwed, but if it takes ages to actually make a move or something. Now, of course, we're all here worried about the dogs, because there's a good chance that they could go to, like, a specific kind of center where there's, like, 50 or above. I can't go in there because I'm only 28. Only 28. God damn it, no. So that's... I mean, I want to get to my own place. The cat needs to have her own giant-ass house to go in and not this small-ass fucking room. Yeah, sure, I got my own room, but it's just not the same. I want to upgrade, basically. Obviously. Of course I want to upgrade. I want to get the hell out of here. We're making, like, over $20 an hour. 25 or so. I don't know the exact number. I just know that we're making a decent amount. We should be getting a good place. But, oh boy, here comes big dick economy being a douchebag and all like, that's not going to be enough money to live on your own, despite the fact that we're making good money. But no. No, it's not. Of course it's not. It's never enough. I don't get it. I wish it would just collapse already so that we can start over again. This thing we call society. Societal collapse. We shouldn't have to wish upon that. At the rate life goes with all of its freaking problems, I feel like we are going to have to go for that at some point. Reset everything. I don't think that's going to work. I think chaos is just going to go rampant throughout the streets. But you know what? Fuck it. Chaos. Let chaos reign. Chaos. In the words of a great Whoops, wrong direction. Powerful goddess. Chaos. Can't do our voice. Or we could go in the words of the great, powerful, ultimate life form. Chaos control. Bitch. You're a beta, man. Well, you're a beta cuck, cat. Beta male? Beta cuck. I don't remember what that was. You're gonna have to remind me. You would know, cat. That's the wrong direction again. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. I just want to live life and be happy and create. That's all I want. If I can get like billions of dollars, I could just not spend it, survive, and I could just focus on creation. Because honestly, there's not really much else you can do with the money without it just being frivolous nonsense. So being able to constantly create without having to worry about, you know, doing a 9 to 5, I'd have more time for this, that's for certain. I'd be able to get this done with a hell of a lot quicker. Which would be great. Because then I can actually get this game finished. Yeah, that's probably not going to be like that, but... Of course, now that we have, well, soon to be easy month coming ahead of us, I feel as though everything should be fine. I should be able to do a nice, simple... Really, cat? I should be able to do a nice, simple, music adjustments, music making in general, going into... I could have just done that. I guess first we just close off the main menu music better so it loops properly instead of what it's doing now. Then we make the second levels music, or second zone, and then the levels music. Then we make the voice logs. Then we focus on the third zone's music. And then at that point, we would just focus on building the zone until that's completed. Because I want to try to progress. Like, get out of it! God damn, I'm going to freaking put that trash can there now. Because now it's grown big enough where the cat's like, oh, time to play with the trash. Stop it! Stop! Don't give me that look. Box. Bonk. That's right, I bonked you. I don't think that helped. I think that just made you go into a more freaking war fit soon. But I still bonked you. Where the fuck is the thing? There it is. Stop it. Ugh. I need to focus and get the strip done with at least. We're at the point where we can get strips finished. I want to finish these strips. It's pretty simplistic, really. Get out of there! If she doesn't listen, I'm going to have to just put the damn trash can in. Stop it! Alright, here I go. I'm picking this up and putting it in the trash can because she won't listen. That's right. The trash can is preventing you from getting to the trash bag in the trash can. Stop it. Stop being a bitch. Stop nudging my nose. Stop it. Ugh. Where the hell was I? Alright, I guess technically I don't need water here. I could just do this and it'll be good enough. That's just this side, though. There's still this side, with the gate in the way, of course. I could probably just hide it for now. I could just hide all the POVs. Ugh. I could just hide all the POVs, actually. But maybe not fully. Yeah, that way I'm not making redundant decisions on objects that aren't even in the frickin' field. Where is this? Alright, that's right there. So that means this, and what's probably going to be, that's a 6, I want 5. 2 and another 2. Technically, that's a third 2. I don't think that part matters too much. We could, like, leave that open if we wanted to. Technically, we could. I can leave at least some of it open. Sure, why the hell not? Doesn't matter that much. Opens up. Showcases the little area you can go up to. Boom. Boom. These are all most likely going to stay within the size that they are. There's no reason for them not to. Everything's still recording just fine. Seems like it. 20 minutes have passed, and that would be accurate. Yeah, we got a nice little cliffside here. And the gate you cannot reach. How many of these things stop you? What are these considered? Cliffs? Probably. They're considered little cliffs. I mean, most people could probably climb it, but not you. Not the player in this instance. Where is the water bit? I need water bit, so I will grab this instead. Nothing really changes depending on what I grab. I just gotta make sure that's the thing. You can also move it, though. I just need to make sure that I adjust it as I see fit. We are getting close to being done with this, though, which is great. And then once April begins, I feel like we'll be starting off anew. With everything working in our favor. I can't wait. Alright, let's see. No, but I guess that's fine. We'll have, I mean, let me see. Does this go upwards? Yeah, it does go upwards. So we could probably try to get it to go a little bit up. Like, where does this end up? Yeah, essentially, this just becomes a part of the river bit here, the river bend here. So you probably will increase, that's the wrong direction, increase in size about here. So say a 9 or so. Okay, let's see. This does need to start going up a bit, though, so maybe this could be a nice little cliffside. I mean, this one makes sense for it to be somewhat like a cliff. I just feel as though I need to expand you and put you at a 3 or something. Ah, my neck. And I should do a nice little cliffside here. We don't even have to have it be all cliffs. We can have like some of it kind of dive in a little bit. Diners, cliffs, and drives. I don't know what the fuck my brain thought of that. It's not the right word. But the concept of it, for some reason, it's funny. You go over to a diner, all of a sudden there's a cliff. The voice in your head says drive. So then you drive. And what happens? I'm pretty sure you could take a wild guess as to what occurs. It's a cliff. There was no instance that stated cliff in the name. And yet here comes my brain saying cliffs. I don't even remember what it is now. It's just cliffs to me now. Now there are cliffs in the diners and drive-ins. So I guess be careful. New Earth update just dropped. Now we gotta worry about cliffs when we're going to drive-in diners. Granted, how often do you go into drive-in diners on a day-to-day basis? often enough to where you have to worry about a literal cliff spawning before you. It's like you drive up to this diner over here, and then you just go on, try to like go into the parking spot, but then oh no, a cliff. Like, here's a driveway, going into the driveway, here's a parking lot here, but then the parking lot somewhat disappears, and now you're faced with a cliff. What kind of SCP nonsense is that? Literally, it's a cliff drive. I don't know what you would call it. I mean, I guess you would just call it diners, drive-thrus, and cliffs. Or whatever the hell I said before. Cliffs, drive-thrus, and diners. Sure, I think that's what it was. Where instead, you pull into the diner, you're just met with a cliff. A cliff that you drive off because it just popped up right in front of you as you were driving to the parking lot to park your car. Guess you should have heeded my warning. I don't even think it's a place that gets any business either. Like, I'm pretty sure, just a little hunch, but I'm pretty sure this place doesn't serve, even if you can somehow get in. I'm pretty sure it doesn't serve anything. Or if it does serve anything, it only serves the people who drives up to there. If you walk up to there, they're like, sorry, sir, I can't serve you food. You need to be in a car for this. That's the entire purpose of a drive-in diner. There's no walk-ins, it's a drive-in. And that's how they lead you to, like, okay, alright, I'll go on ahead and get my car after I'm done with my hike or whatever. Because it's probably, if it's a cliffside, and most likely runs into a forest clearing or whatever the hell kind of area you're driving into, chances are you're most likely on a hike. But then again, if you're on a hike, you're probably not going to go into it. Well, it depends on... God, what the hell did I just... Okay, I don't know what happened. Something just popped up. Nah. Freaking goddamn me to move my body around to match the keyboard so I don't ruin anything. We're still recording? Okay, good. I don't know what happened. As I was saying, you have to get your car. You're not going to be able to just walk there. You're going to have to get your car. Which then leads you into the trap. Where you drive up, boom, cliff, you're dead. Unless you have one of those airplane cars and you can convert it to an airplane on the fly. I don't know if that's even a possibility, but if it is a possibility, that's your only hope of survival at that point. You will not be able to save yourself from the cliffside diner. And nobody really knows what occurs there. It's like you end up driving there, and it's like your car somehow just blips over to the opening where the cliffside is. Like, anybody who sees it are then met... Anybody who sees you driving out the cliff are then met with a cliff themselves that they won't realize they're about to walk off of. So if you're inside the diner, somehow... Actually, no, of course you're going to be somehow inside the diner because you just walked into it instead of driving into it. Walking into it is safe, apparently, but driving into it just somehow spawns a cliff. I don't know why. But if you look at somebody falling off a cliff, then a cliff will spawn on you. Whether it be if you're in the diner or elsewhere, doesn't really matter. The cliff will spawn. Then you will fall, and then you will most likely die. The chances of you surviving is slim, little to none. But, yeah, the cliffs are dangerous. You gotta watch out for cliffs in that particular place. Even if you can get in, they're not gonna serve you. And imagine if you try to just jump over the counter to, like, grab food. A cliff will spawn as soon as you jump over the counter. Yeah, that makes sense. You jump over the counter, all of a sudden, cliff. And this is like no ordinary cliff. This is like a freaking 5-story drop or so. Whatever the average size of cliff is, that's how far you're falling, basically. And then, this is a really good way to deter robbers. The question is, how do people get to work here? Maybe those aren't people at work. Maybe it's just the diner creating an illusion. It could be a living diner creating an illusion that makes you think that there are people there to trick you into driving into its parking spot section. Perhaps. Who's to say? All I can tell you is that there are people there. Are they real? Are they human? Do they exist? Are they in your mind? Who knows? Maybe there's a thing where if you look inside, you see people eating, but when you go inside, it looks empty except for the workers there. And then you're questioning, but wait, I saw people eating out there. Sorry, sir, we can only serve you if you're driving in a car. If you drive to this is a drive-through diner, not a walk-in diner, he says constantly. That's his catchphrase for some reason. And that's what they say every time when you walk in. They say this is a drive-through diner, not a walk-through diner. So, and then you're either walking away and be like, yeah, nope. Or you're falling for the trap and then you're driving off a cliff. I imagine those who somehow cheat the system by using one of those old-timey airplane car-like thingies. Where you're pedaling and you're gliding or something. And you glide off the cliff. But then you're just perpetually cursed until eventually you die. And the curse essentially just, every time you land, another cliff will spawn. And that cliff will then, go on ahead and spawn another cliff if you land into that cliff. And if you keep landing in the cliff, if you run into a wall and don't die, you're just going to spawn another cliff, and then you're either going to maybe stand on the cliff. It depends, really. I think it's more of a case of it spawns a cliff wherever the hell you're moving. So if you're moving in a very particular direction, or if you're standing still, the cliff will not spawn, but as soon as you move, the cliff will then spawn. It's the curse of the eternal cliff. You will always be falling off of a cliff. Now, if you're somebody who's basically immune to fall damage, well, get used to falling off of cliffs for the rest of your life, because that's your life now. You're just falling off of cliffs. This is the most strangest SCP I've ever created, but you know what? This is the SCP we're going for. Though, granted, I've created some horrific creatures and abominations in Reginald's Macabre cases, so let's just add this to the list of strange entities that exists for some god-unknown reason. For not even God can understand the reason for this thing's existence. That's me. Technically speaking, I created the damn thing, and I don't even understand why it exists. I can do that. I have the power to do that, and I just did it. So you know what? There. Get used to it, because that's my process. I don't understand the reason why it exists, but it exists now. I have no rhyme, no reason, nor do I need a rhyme or reason. I will create whatever I please. And if that creation is basically a diner drive-through cliff entity thingy, then it deserves the existence reward. Sure, why not? Yes, it will exist. Therefore, it does exist. So be careful. All drive-thrus are now affected. If you drive through a diner, there's a cliff now. Watch that just will die into existence. Man, one would hope I didn't, because then that would mean a lot of drive-through. Well, okay, this is assuming that all drive-throughs are affected. It seems like there's just one particular drive-through located somewhere within scenic nowhere forest lands with cliff sides and forests around it. A place you can actually go to. I don't even know what the hell class this particular entity would be in the SCP department, but in the Unknown Entity Trackers group, I'm pretty sure this would just be a constrained, although it's debatable whether or not this is a viral creature. I mean, viral means that the creature, or the entity, I should say, not creature. Viral means that the entity... Oh, wait, this is supposed to be a nice big forest cliff. Anyways, viral means that the entity is able to go around the planet. Universal means that it can go around the universe, not constrained to the planet. And dimensional means it can go wherever the hell it pleases. So the real question is, would this be... It would be a constrained entity, but would its effects would make it a viral entity? Look, I'm going off of Reginald's Mockerbray cases because its classing system is simple in the sense that it determines if the entity is constrained, stuck to one space or specific place, i.e. a diner. Viral can go around the planet, basically. Universal, again, can go around the universe. Or, of course, dimensional, which is going to any universe, anywhere in the existence that we all know and are still confused about sometimes. Whereas the others, I have no clue. There's like some safe class or something. It's safe to assume all entities are relatively dangerous. I mean, at least with the entities that Reginald Franklin and the rest of his Mockerbray crew are out there finding, examining. Fuck. I had a feeling that was going to happen. You know what? That's fine. I can still do this. God damn it. So, yeah. I don't know what class this would be in SCP. I could probably just look it up real quick, but I really want to just get this done with before... Whoops. Before we end the video. I think SCP's entire, class system focused mostly on how difficult it is to contain the thing, right? That's what it was? So a safe could be, the most dangerous thing in the world, but it's pretty easy to contain. And then Euclid, or whatever the fuck that one was called, is essentially impossible to contain. Impossible or very difficult to contain. I mean, this is a diner. Just set up a bunch of tape or whatnot around it and just say, don't go near it, condemned. Government site or some shit. Violators will be executed on site. Whether or not they'll actually execute people on site or just let the entity do its thing, who knows? That's another thing, actually. If we were to go on ahead and combine Reginald's Mockerbray cases with SCP, what classes would those particular creations fall under? Obviously, there would be ways to contain it, but I feel like containing some of the entities that I've created is rather difficult. I mean, the cyst hive mind, which is basically just a thing that, if you're near the thing that's developing cysts, will go on ahead and convert you into a zombie-like creature with cysts all over its body. Even if you are affected by it still, if you're nowhere near the node, it will not infect you any further. I feel like with that particular entity, tests would be pretty easy to conduct because it'll basically just be like, don't worry, convicted criminal, this particular entity does not have any full effect. I mean, they wouldn't know that, but I would. Reginald would know because Reginald's out there actually giving you the information. SCP is like, no, too great for people to handle. And even then, there is some information that Reginald Franklin can't even get to because certain entities are a bit more difficult to examine and get information from. Case in point, the mysterious entity. We have been given some information about the mysterious entity. Now, the mysterious entity would definitely be an entity far beyond any SCP in that particular universe. Because again, as far as we are aware, me and everyone else, because I think I've stated it before, the mysterious entity is the most strongest being in all of the known universes, because of the fact that it basically garners power from anything macabre, murderous, murder, violence, all that kind of stuff. Gore. Basically anything that is indicative of death, blood, and so on. A creature that gains power from that particular instance, from all of the known universes, not just one, is clearly one of great and terrifying caliber. We can only count ourselves lucky that the entity is currently weakened. Why it's weakened, nobody knows yet. People might theorize, or some people in other universes theorize, that the mysterious entity is essentially weakened from his own kind performing some ritual. But if that was the case, the information is lost to time itself. Nobody really knows anymore. Even if that is possible, all it would do is just buy us some time. It wouldn't kill the entity, that's been made clear. And even so, there's still a lot more to the mysterious entity that we don't know. We know of its people to some extent. We've seen at least a few things connected to it. And we also know that somehow the mysterious entity has some connection to the mysterious woman. That other entity that basically goes on ahead and garners power from sexual stuff, whether it be consensual or through rape or through underage. It's bad. It's very bad, basically. Both her and the mysterious entity. So, for the most part, those two beings are very terrifying, in a sense that we have no clue what they're even capable of. The fact that they can gain all of this power from all of these universes of their own respective coordinates, it leads you down the conclusion that they would have to be extremely powerful, because essentially they're pulling energy from infinity, right? They cannot be sealed. They cannot be killed. Only one of them was weakened, but we don't even know how or why. Figuring out what the how is important. The why isn't really that important because it seems pretty freaking obvious when you think about it. It's the mysterious entity. This is a being that... okay, wait, I don't think this was supposed to be like this. This is a being that basically has all the power in the world. That nobody can contend, nobody can fight, nobody can even challenge. A being that apparently has some connection to some entities being created. At least that's what Reginald Franklin has discovered. Okay, I believe this is still Cliffside, right? Where is this again? Right. This is the edge here. In this department right here. So that one should be pretty simplistic. Alright. I'll make this one a 7. All in all, I don't think anybody's going to be able to top the mysterious entity, because it's not even a creation that I have made. I'm pretty sure this thing just made itself be known to me when I was making these abominations. So now it exists out there in the world as some ethereal being, some eldritch-like being. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was an eldritch being. To be honest with you, that would make a hell of a lot more sense. A monstrosity far beyond our own comprehension. Something's right here. Yeah, no, wait, something not right here. Where the hell are you? Are you here? That's the wrong button. No. Oh, wait, did I copy you and not move that? Oh, that's probably what happened. I guess it doesn't matter. What's done is done, and we don't need to worry too much about it. So anyways, yeah. Diner driving cliff. We went on a mysterious entity tangent. As you do when talking about entities of mysterious origins. Yeah, I don't know what the hell this particular entity's class would be in SCP. I feel like it would be constrained in Reginald's Macabre cases. But in terms of SCP, how much time do we have left? 13 minutes? Really? Well, I guess we only got like 2 sections left. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to do a quick save just in case. Problem is, I barely remember the classes and what they were supposed to be. Oh yeah, we were originally trying to see what particular entities would fall under what class in SCP, despite not remembering what the hell the classes were. Well, like I said, we would have to figure out if an entity could be contained. Yeah, I think that's the problem. Most of the entities that Reginald's Macabre cases covers are ones that simply are not really able to be contained unless they are constrained entities. And this is supposed to be a 60. What am I doing? This is supposed to be a 54. So, yeah, I mean, the constrained entities you can definitely contain, but the ones that are like viral, like, I don't think the SCP organization is going to be able to contain something like the abducting trafficker. You know, with the weird, what's his name? The weird Rocky Dennis / Jack. What was his name again? The guy from Squidbillies that has long red hair and is like Moore or something like that. Not Moore, it's more like Kratos. And, you know, he's abducting children and then also going on ahead and doing the thing where it's just forcing adults to do unspeakable acts. Very horrifying stuff. I don't think the SCP organization can contain that monstrosity. I think the only thing you can do to contain that monstrosity is to get rid of every single type of television screen sets that you can get rid of. And, well, yes, it is pretty easy to deal with it. Just go away from the TV and don't let it see you. Or the frickin', what do you call it? Predator. You're probably fine, but fuck you. I mean, technically, yes, you are fine then. You're like, oh, good, free. Ugh, God. The freaking abducting trafficker is the most heinous creation I've ever goddamn made. Oh, wait, this is an edge. Right, I guess this will be a cliff then. But yeah, no, that entity is just not going to be containable. Hate to say it, SCP organization, but there's no way you're going to be able to do anything to contain that thing unless you want to go around the planet destroying television and computer monitor sets and all that stuff. That's the only way you will be able to stay safe from the abducting trafficker, who sounds like, I don't know what the hell he sounds like. I've stated it before in multiple episodes, but I am over 700 episodes. There's no freaking way in hell I'll be able to explain which episode I said its voice in. I think I've even shown you the thing, but I don't really want to bring it up now because we're running out of time. But yeah, long explanation short, that entity definitely cannot be contained. It's impossible to contain. Also, this was a 15, this was fine. It's sad, really, but it cannot be contained. This is just the truth. This is the horrifying truth. So, count your lucky stars, SCP organization, that you guys don't have to deal with that entity. I feel like there would have to be some way you would be able to go into the dimension that the entity is in. But even if you could, we have no freaking clue what the hell that thing is capable of in its own domain expansion. Its own dimension, essentially. Not the other thing, I just said that as a joke. But we don't know what it's capable of. So it stands to reason that you wouldn't want to have any test subjects. First of all, it's not going to take any D-class personnel. Of course it won't. It only abducts children, and then it forces them upon adults using some strange hypnotic nonsense, which is terrible. It's just, if you're somebody who does not have any of those feelings, you're still forced. And that's just simply awful. The mental strain of having to undergo something like that against your will, that is the most horrifying entity that I have ever created. No, nothing would ever top that monstrosity. I am telling you right now, even if I could come up with the most ugliest, heinous creature I could ever goddamn come up with, nothing will top that creature, that entity. And you know what? That's fine. Because I got other unique ones. Like this one that I want to make that's called the... Oh, oops, wrong one. The Dimensions... Okay, actually, I could probably just bring up the artworks idea here. Where are you? Here you are. The Unstable Demented. Which essentially is just a strange entity that affects television broadcasts. I got enough time to at least do one more square. So what it does is it affects television broadcasts. It's not an entity that destroys you quickly, but as soon as this entity is brought into the world, well, that's it. You're dead. Everybody on the planet is dead. What it does is it affects certain things on a TV being said. I don't understand why, but when my brain was going through, watching Hey Arnold with Eugene singing the dance like there's a muskrat in your pants, it for some reason goes on ahead, pauses on the word muskrat, and it sounds like muskrat. Like it's just like very, what's the word? Hushed, raspy voice. And there's like other words like nice guys finish last. And then there's other broadcasts, but I cannot remember what those were. It's been at least a couple of years since that entity's first created. I didn't even remember what the Unstable Demented was. I was like sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck was this entity. I didn't give me anything other than a name, and then it hit me when I remembered dance like there's a muskrat in your pants. I'm like, that's what that was. So what it does, since I only got like freaking 5 minutes to explain it, is that after a certain point and several different broadcasts have been changed, it starts to give you warnings. Like of impending doom type warnings. Also, what direction is... Oh, wait, what am I doing? This is supposed to go inwards. God damn it, this is not right. It gives you warnings that basically says that something is coming, or something along those lines. It does not specify yet. It keeps it relatively hush-hush, which makes sense. And then when the time comes, when the end of the world occurs, you get your date, your end date, when everything is just basically now going to die. And then the final broadcast, which basically is going to affect... It is another television-based entity, basically, but I don't think you can avoid it. Even if it exists, I think it will still do its thing. Yeah, it most likely would still do its thing. It goes on ahead and gives its final broadcast. Now, you can tune in that broadcast, but I would highly advise against that. What occurs is that it counts down. There's a countdown timer. If you stick around for that countdown timer, that's it. That's it for you. But if you don't, guess what? That's still it for you, but at least your soul does not get to stay stuck in a statue located on the moon with probably millions, if not billions, of people trapped inside of it, feeling their skin burning from the planet exploding in the background. The planet blows up in a fiery fireball of destruction and death. Anybody who's witnessed that program, or at least witnessed the countdown, gets a bright light in their eyes, and then you feel horrifying burn and cold sensation. Well, burning first, then cold, but you can't move. You can't feel anything, yet you can still feel pain. And then you cut to this strange humanoid husk statue-like thing on the moon, watching the Earth explode. And then basically you're just experiencing immense burns until eventually the Earth is gone. And all that's left now is just the freezing cold of the moon's grip. You cannot move, you cannot blink, you can think, but it's not going to help. All you see is this strange, creepy statue and silence, the vacuum of space. And that's just basically your life for eternity. Your soul is now a part of that statue, and you cannot pass on or reincarnate, even though, I mean, you go to a different planet, you might reincarnate, but Earth is dead. Those who didn't look at the broadcast, though, they're dead, yes, but at least their soul is not stuck in a statue. They're whatever the hell they're going to go to. Which, who knows where, who knows why. All I know is that I'm free because I didn't look at the broadcast. That's implying that you guys looked at the broadcast. Even though I specifically told you not to, but you know what? You do you. I guess it's some kind of life instead of uncertainty, but is that really worth it? Now that's a terrifying entity, but not as terrifying as the abducting trafficker. And also that entity is another one that the SCP organization is unlikely to be able to contain. The planet will just die. Maybe they could switch to a different planet. I don't know. I don't think that's possible. It might be possible. I don't know. You let me know, SCP Buffs. Would they be able to move to another planet? Do they have interplanetary travel yet? Because I can tell you one goddamn thing's for certain. They ain't going to be able to contain that entity. They can try everything they can. That entity cannot be contained. So that's basically a death sentence for anybody in that universe if that entity is ever on their computer screens. Also, aside from manipulating the word, it goes on ahead and shows like a strange, creepy face, which mimics the mask's face on the moon. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, there's less than a minute left. There's no point in me sticking around any longer, so I'm just gonna call it here, because that makes the most sense. I'm also gonna make sure that I go on ahead and delete. Okay, that's reset. Good. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today's episode, folks. Horrors, drivers, dine-ins, and drive-thrus, dine-ins, and cliffs, whatever the hell the thing was. Thank y'all for watching today's episode, SCP/Reginald Franklin Edition. Yes, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that there playlist. And of course, previous episode of Game Crafters over here, most recent episode of Minecraft, ROTC Edition right over here. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. I'll see you all in the next episode. Later.